Welcome, race fans, back to SVR. My name is Webbo, here to join you for today's racing. This is how things look in the G1 Championship right now. Let me just check everything. I just need to make sure I've got a Hector running as well. I've forgotten to do that. This is G1. Mega Racing lead by 1 single point ahead of Kimi's racing team at 188 points for the top team there, with Delesi in third, Bergstein Racing in 4th, JPI in 5th, Brokaga in 6th, and Coach Dave running in 7th place at the head of the drivers' standings with 4 wins to his name, including the last 2 back-to-back. Dummy has 145 points ahead of Senor Fak, who also has 4 wins to his name, as well as 2 further second places, 140 for Senor Fak, racing at home today in Croatia. We have Tequila Monkey in 3rd, Bijan in 4th, Dirtbag Larry moving up all ahead of Flash there, in staying in 6th place, having not appeared recently. Niki Lauda, Red, 7th and 8th, with Komakopa and Uncle Pants picking up good healthy points here for the Brokaga team. Sock, Phil, Mappy and Focal make out the rest of our permanent season drivers. My apologies for the lateness. Getting everything underway, I will get us viewing the race here and try and make sure that I can find what I need from Hector. Give me a moment, please. I do apologise. There's a lot to juggle in the last few minutes, and I also apologise for my voice here, which may dip in and out as things run. I've got bizarrely. Unfortunately, both the Dragon Trail races that were running at the same time were sharing the same Hector screen. So I'm going to try and sort out Hector, but meanwhile, let's have a look at how things stand in the qualifying session. Senor Fak ahead of Dummy, Tequila Monkey, Focal, Soulshock, Bijan, Dirtbag Larry and Sock, your top 8 at the moment. Just hopefully our levels are okay. I think, by the look of things, I think game sound might be a little bit too high, and all of a sudden, of course, my mouse decides to fail me at a very crucial moment. So apologies. I'll be back with you in a moment. Here we go. Finally, right. I'm going to turn the game sound down a little bit. That looked like that was a little bit too much, but this is how things are looking at the moment. And I will get Hector sorted for you very, very soon. So we'll get that organised perhaps in the break between the race and the main showing. Red is watching from home. He's being replaced today, I think, by Soulshock, who's running in P5 so far in qualifying. Let's have a quick look outside the top 8. We've got Mappy in 12th, Villar in 11th. With Komakopa in 10th, Sock in 9th, and there's Niki Lauda in 8th position at the moment. Senor Fak driving for the championship at the moment, and 1.5 tenths separating himself and Dummy as they come on down into the next corner, which is the Modric, turn 12. We've had a change of name for the bus stop style death chicane, which will now be known as the Dirtbag Dangle, thanks to our charitable donators in the league. This is the Dirtbag Dangle then, 4-part right, left, left, right. No. Yes, right, left, left, right, bus stop style chicane. And we head down into the Ivanisevic corner here, which Senor Fak has given me his approval for most of my corner names, if not all of them, celebrating sporting stars of the great nation of Croatia, his home. As he crosses the line then, is this going to be an improvement on his final lap? Not quite. Can Dummy take the provisional pole position away from him? No, he cannot. So it's Senor Fak ahead of Dummy, and Tequila Monkey crosses the line. No further improvement. The soft tyres are really struggling. Soulshock, huge dab of opposite lock as he goes through the Dirtbag Dangle chicane. As we head down in towards Ivanisevic corner, Soulshock was deposed all the way down to 7th position from a fabulous lap from Niki Lauda and from Bijan. Can Soulshock rescue this one? He was certainly had a huge snap of oversteer as we run through. Red saying, watching in crusty 360p. I do apologise, Red. I'll do my best to give you everything. From Norway, Red is racing, viewing. Oh, fantastic. I'd love to visit Norway one day. So it sounds like it's been quite a long drive for you and the family there. So Senor Fak taking the lead of our race, and I'm just going to have to try and sort out Hector here while I talk to you. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Let's see if I've got that okay. I think so. Let's open that. There we go. Look at that. It's still got the qualifying result there. We've even added the G1 division onto the tower top, which is also a great thing as well. Let's give you a driver's POV during the race. I'm just going to check that it is working, because it wasn't working last time for me. I'll try and find a driver who definitely is streaming. There it is. Dummy is streaming. So hopefully that was the driver that I was requesting to come through, and he did indeed come through as requested. So brilliant stuff. There is your result from qualifying. Senor Fak ahead of Dummy, Tequila Monkey, Focal, Bijan, Nicky Lauda, Soulshock, Dirtbag Larry, your top 8. Dirtbag will have to navigate his own chicane. I hope that it doesn't work out to be his undoing. Comacopa looks to be the only Brokaga with no Uncle Pants today, and actually only 12 drivers taking part in today's race, unfortunately. Good to see the all-black livery for Team Mega showing in P2 and P4. Focal putting in a standout performance here for the team, which is another fantastic one. As Red's going to take some pictures for me of Norway. Fantastic. I'd love to see it. Brilliant. Thank you for that. I'm going to just notify the drivers that all is good. I think it was Sol was our host, so just need to let him know. I'm going to race lobby in 30 seconds. Wow. Okay, so he's going to rebuild very, very quickly. So just notifying Soulshock. Let me know today if you're watching with us, where you're watching from, who you're watching for. Red's already done the job, and he's straight into first place in our chat leaderboard. Various bits of track admin need to happen, of course, for making sure that Hector runs nice and smoothly, which includes Soulshock's latest instruction, which is not to enter the track. I'm just going to have a quick look at our. Well, I was going to look at the weather, but it disappeared before I got there. But yes, we're enjoying the Dirtbag Dangle. I think Taylor is enjoying the Dirtbag Dangle, no end. So that's good to hear. Yeah, do let me know if you see or spot anything during today's broadcast, and you're following. Remember to visit info.svr. Let me get that right. It is info.svr-racing.com. It almost just trickled straight off my tongue without me even giving it much in the way of conscious thought. So that was interesting. So no weather predicted here today. It's full daytime racing for you. I don't think we go full night. You must use the hard and the medium tyre at least today. That is our plan, and everybody is working ferociously hard to make sure that we have a successful and fantastic race here on our 10th round of our 13-round championship for the season. As I mentioned at the top of the show, 5 points separating our dummy and Senor Fat contenders for that inaugural G1 championship. It is going to be absolutely thrilling to see these guys close out the season as they appear to. Race starting in 1 minute's time, says Soulshock. So that's fantastic. Just enough time then for everybody watching live today to make sure you're subscribing to the channel. You've liked the video. You've subscribed to the SVR-Racing channel. You've subscribed to Comacopa VR's channel as well, please. And you're doing all the good stuff to go ahead and support our streams, and you can also hit the thanks button today if you want to, and take and buy a super chat, or even just a tip my way. I should have a link at the end or the start. I think on the starting screen I had a link to my merch store, but we do have a merch store for SVR as well, which is brilliant. Some fantastic merch on offer that mostly I think Tequila has designed himself. So Yeah, some great stuff. And if you come up with an idea and want a specific T-shirt, do let us know. We're happy to integrate that as well. Also, a big thank you to Senor Dude creating the intro card for today's stream as well. So, all in all, we are looking forward to a really fun race. Dirtbag Larry hasn't checked in, it seems, and might find himself sent to the back. Network issues, says mapping. So he hasn't appeared. He might find himself unable to take part in what is now a renamed chicane in his honour. The charity has been running for the charitable gifts been gone for the Ronald McDonald Foundation, which apparently I didn't know, but helps fund hotel stays for families when their child is in hospital. Tries to help them to stay nearby. So that's a great cause. And thank you to everybody who contributed to that wonderful cause. 3.5 meters per second south easterly wind should be affecting the drivers somewhat today as we get ready then for the 10th round of our championship. Unfortunately, it looks like our very popular Dirtbag Larry has been unable to reconnect, sadly, and we will hope that we can see everything we need to get a good race going in his honour at very least. The red lights are ready for 1 hour of racing here around Dragon Trail Seaside configuration for our races. It's ready for round 10 of the G1 Championship. And it's dropped the clutch and go, go, go in the bright sunshine as the Lexus tried to get away, but typically Tequila Monkey in the Ferrari launches forth, even on the hard tyres, gains a row and straight into the lead of the race. Senor Fack and Dummy competing over the run down in towards the first chicane, the Schuker chicane, and it's absolute chaos, it seems. Early doors, looks like it might have been Focal losing out in a big way. He's still sideways coming on out of the Schuker chicane. And there's a lot still to play for here. The driver's getting very excited going into the first few corners, despite the fact that we raced for an entire hour and we have fully ruled, full racing rules and stewards to guide us. How about this for Kimmy's P1 and P3 as we run in? But suddenly Dummy is getting the car hooked up. He's on the racing medium tyres. Will be absolutely distraught to find that a hard tyre runner managed to get the nod ahead of him round through our Kostelic slalom and down in towards Modric turn 12 we go for the first time of asking, and Dummy puts himself in the danger zone on the outside here against the reigning S1 champion Tequila Monkey. They continue to go side by side and they're going to go towards the dirtbag dangle for the first time. Side by side, don't do it boys, we've got to race for an hour, and Dummy goes through, muscular, confident and planted on his medium tyres with a slight advantage, and Tequila Monkey and Soul Shock lick their wounds in second and third position. They go side by side. They're actually fully on the defensive here, blocking the racetrack from Senor Fack, who comes through. Tequila Monkey's losing out place after place here, and he's ending up with a side swipe for his troubles. Senor Fack through, and Soul Shock up into second position. Absolutely incredible sequence for Tequila Monkey, who had an absolute rocket start, but it didn't quite work. Green Guy is cheering on Jimmy's in the chat there, and that looks like Komakopa up to fourth position as well. What a start from Komakopa in the Jag as they run through that Suker chicane again. It's Bijan in P6. What an exciting start we had. Let's just replay what happened down into the Suker chicane from the start perspective of one of the further back drivers. It's Focal on the far right of screen. He's the one I think who is going to lose out worst out of this group. He turns in. There are three cars on his inside, and then there goes Komakopa just collecting him on the way through as well, unfortunately. But Focal goes from fourth way down the order to virtually the back of the grid, and that is heartbreaking for his team at this stage of proceedings. Back to the front then as Dummy and Soul Shock fight over, well, they would fight over P2, but they're miles away. The Senor Fack is the one. Then Senor Fack and Dummy continue to do different jobs here on their strategy choices, and we will not see them together, I don't think, until the end of the race or through the pit stop sequence. Through the dirtbag dangle we go for the second time of asking and waiting. There will be the end of many drivers' hopes and dreams will be happen through this particular sequence of corners. It wasn't known as the death chicane for nothing. Dummy leads us by 3 clear seconds. Senyorfac goes through past Solshock here. Senyorfac on the hard tyres on the Porsche manages to completely stitch up Solshock going into the next corner. Solshock thought about a defence, but how did Senyorfac just brake so late? And Solshock a day late and $1 short with his defence on the corner, and ends up making contact, unfortunately, but staying to fight and continuing the battle. He's on the medium tyres, Senyorfac on the hard, but somehow Senyorfac on the braking performance on the Porsche was imperious. A reminder, you have to make at least one stop for tyres. That's a given as we run through and out of the Perisic corner, turn 6, Bijan in turn 5, and there's a lot of drivers enjoying. A lot of our chat mates cheering everybody on here. So lots of love for Tequila as ever here. The reigning S1 champion does a lot of work in the background for his team and for the league, and everyone wants him to do well, just not too well as the reigning champ. Who wants it to be tough and difficult. Niki Lauda is defending hard here with Uncle Pants trying the old outside move around the Modric turn 12. That could become a quite powerful position here for the Jaguar as he goes all the way around the outside and he tucks himself in, and wow, that was special from Uncle Pants. What a manoeuvre to get up into P1, but spinning is Tequila Monkey, spinning around the sequence of corners. Here he is then. This is what happened to Tequila. He's the first one to drop it in the dirtbag dangle. It's a little bit wider, and then just one thing leads to another and spinning round. I love that maneuver though from Uncle Pants on the Nismo of Niki Lauda, and honestly these guys are giving us plenty of entertainment already. I haven't shouted like this all day. And I'm into my 4th commentary of the day. Phil fighting with Niki Lauda now, and he's doing his best here as Red says Tequila. Why Tequila? Too much Tequila, I think, as Uncle Pants has lost out that time round. He's going to have to do the job all over again. Uncle Pants on that medium tyre turns into the corner. There was a Porsche nose already positioned on the inside there. And here goes Uncle Pants once again as they head on in towards the Kostelic slalom. A fiendishly fast switchback section, and in the GT3 cars, a real challenge. In the Formula cars, this is quite easy for the drivers to tackle. But in the GT3s, this is a lot more of a difficult situation with far less downforce, of course, on especially the front of the cars. Getting them turned into the corners, really tricky. Uncle Pants in 7th, Phil in 8th, Mappy in 9th, Sock down on the back of this tail in 10th place with Focal in 11th. Lots of work to do, and Tequila Monkey has made a pit stop, repaired the car, and come out on a new set of medium tyres. And I think Tequila has added a little bit of fuel, not much, if anything. Dummy is opening up his gap while he can on the medium tyres versus Senyorfac on the hard tyres. That's a 1 minute 38.3 for Senyorfac, 39.4. That's a scary time then from Senyorfac versus Dummy. Senyorfac with the whole crowd and nation of Croatia behind him here in the Dragon Trail Seaside configuration. This is going to be a real challenge for Dummy because Senyorfac has got the bit between his teeth. Great lap. That's been corrected, has it not? Lap 4. I'm sure that said 138 before. Anyway, it's not quite as quick as Dummy. Solshock has Komakopa right behind him. Komakopa, like me, on successive races in his racing activity today. He said he put an extra sticker on the back of the car for me. There we go. It's a number 1 and a Union flag in a heart. Thank you for him. He's adding some cool things on the car here. Some purple accents on the Bro Cargo designs. I don't think that counts. If anyone is watching, I don't think that counts as a changed livery. Tequila is not out. He's just pitted early, and he's at the back of the grid at the moment. And unfortunately, you can see him there in 12th on the tower, running in P6. In fact, with so much love for Tequila Monkey, I'm going to see if he's streaming. He's not streaming, so he obviously doesn't love his fans particularly strongly. I have to say, he hasn't gone for his POV streaming. I'm going to give you a driver who is close behind another one. This is for Funny Nicky, Bijan's teammate, as we watch Bijan run through the order. This is Komakopa in fourth. You can watch how difficult this race is in VR from our Austrian racer, Funny Nicky, who's currently in P7. Sorry, yes, Tequila is still in the race. Here he is in P12, still running at the back, but he has dropped 10 places from his start. He has made an unscheduled pit stop, put on a new set of tyres, and there he is for the last time. Green guy, he's definitely still here. Dummy is ahead of the race by 6 seconds on the tyre advantage at the moment on those medium tyres, with Senor Fak in P2, trying to mitigate the loss in time at the moment on the hard tyre. They have to change compound during this hour, and they should have to put some fuel in as well. Solshock running, and he is running today. He took part in this race in the S1 race last week, and he's back for more in the sitting in for Red today, so taking part in the top tier divisional race for the GT3, just trying to keep that scoreboard rolling for Kimmy's. But Tequila, unfortunately, is going to have a problem. But as far as Kimmy's are concerned, their main rivals for the championship are Team Mega, and Team Mega have a leader and a driver who has suffered greatly at the start of this race as well. So presumably, it should be fairly equitable in their eventual scores. Looks like Focal and Mappy have just come together, potentially. Here is Mappy, as he had a problem in the chicane. Well, certainly had a big lift, and I think Focal is just going to have a better run. Focal had great pace. He put it on P4 in qualifying, and Mappy a bit slower through. As Red said, with me there not to crash or have an internet crash, Tequila had to do it, and we've got to keep the views, keep the hope for and the entertainment for those places gained. And how about Focal hanging out the back end? Webbo style point awarded for that one. And I know I'm slightly biased, but that was pretty clever coming through. Didn't he actually lose a great deal of time as well to Nicky Lauda? I'm getting a lot of volume coming through my ears here. Just confirm the volume levels are okay, are A-okay for you guys, but it's too much in my right ear anyway. So I'll just adjust it through my headset. We've got Focal in P8 and unlocking that pace once again. He's on the medium tyres. He did get the wrong end of a four-way battle into the chicane. Thanks, Taylor, appreciate it. And Focal heading down then, and I think just building for his next overtake quest. 2 places ahead. Uncle Pants in the Jag is looking confident today for Brokaga. He's got back past ahead of Nicky Lauda. He's had to make that overtake twice here. Focal finding a good route through the chicane. That was absolutely on the edge of disaster as Nicky peels across to the inside. Let's have a look at this from Vocal's perspective, down into the Ivanisevic corner. Vocal's been on the outside of a multi-car battle before, and it hasn't gone well. It didn't go well again. Almost a carbon copy of what happened before for Focal. And really, I guess you could say it's probably a good idea to take it a little bit gentler on the way through these corners, because this was never going to go well, trying to go around the outside of 2 drivers battling, and then unfortunately getting onto the throttle. Disaster for Focal. I hope that he can still get a good result out of this race, but that's 2 big issues for Focal. He still hasn't suffered as much as Tequila Monkey, who's made that extra pit stop. Phil has also made a pit stop. No, he hasn't. He's just been into the barrier and lost position to Tequila Monkey, so keeping each other busy at the back of the grid at the moment. Dummy leads by 6.7 seconds from Senor Fak. The delta back to P3 in total is 14.3, but Senor Fak 7.6 seconds to Solshock, who's on the mediums just like Dummy. I don't think Senor Fak is going to be looking in his mirrors at all today, unless he manages to make a pass past our leader at the moment, Dummy, in the pit stop. Dylan tunes in and says, let's go Buckstein, keep it going Nicky and Bijan. It does look like a good positioning for Nicky and for Bijan at the moment. Here they are, the Buckstein pair. Well, not quite. There's one of them. There's Bijan. And then behind him, Niki Lauda, who's on the defensive, and he's gone for another overtake. He's managed to get by. You've seen that before, I have, and I didn't catch it in the replay buffer, but hopefully you got a good view of that from his perspective. Let's change driver POV, shall we? We'll switch to his teammate Bijan. Hopefully that's working well. Chupacabra is his Twitch handle. And we'll watch this battle, but Nicky and Uncle Pants have been very evenly matched so far. And they head down at the start-finish straight to start lap 9. Slight kink at the official turn 1, Kovac, and in towards the Suker chicane. Very tricky corner to manage. And there goes great slide from Uncle Pants. You'll have a style point for that as well. He has been thrilling to watch so far, Uncle Pants, around the Ishii corner and into Perisic next. And following him, Mappy, who started at the back of the grid. No teammate today, unfortunately. Larry couldn't get back into the lobby. Uncle Pants in 7th. He was about 2 minutes late to arrive back in to the lobby, unfortunately, and that is a huge shame. More crashes than Tokyo, says Red. I think it certainly has been action-packed at this stage. Let's go back towards this midfield battle. This is Bijan catching Komakopa. You're watching the POV. I'm going to stay trackside while we watch this one. You see how close to the wall you have to get in this horribly dangerous corner sequence. And these two drivers are catching Solshock, who's looking after that medium tyre. I would hasten to suggest Komakopa, one of our tyre specialists and race management specialists over the course of a race, really knows his way around how to cope with the tyre balance. In the previous round, he was probably the best driver at managing the front to rear axle delta between the runs, between the Ren's saying, "Hey Ren, have you got smartphone time?" Oh dear. Busted, I think, is what was said. Still in the bus, Dad, says Red. Okay. So obviously not in the same same car. I thought you were still in the car together, but clearly not. So Komakopa P4, Bijan P5 ahead of this group by just under a second. Solshock in P3. As we run through that Kostelic Slalom. It's been recently renamed thanks to Senor Fak and to Renzo, I think it was, who made their suggestions and their feelings heard about my corner namings in this Croatian circuit. Good to see though, because we're back here in successive seasons here in the VR Sim Racing World Championship, brought to you by SVR. This is Bijan chasing down Komakopa, and Bijan's tyres getting better. Komakopa's getting worse. Komakopa, a tricky run through the dirtbag dangle. Dummy's gone into the pits. Will Komakopa follow suit here after losing a position? As they go down into the corner, Komakopa puts himself as unable to defend on the inside, ends up on the outside, doesn't go into the pit lane, but Solshock does. Senor Fak is your new leader, thanks to the pit stop of the dominant dummy in the race. And there's Ren's just checking in on where Red is, so we're just doing family location. Getting the position back on Bijan goes Komakopa out of the final corner, so we've really placed that very well indeed. Let's have a look at this again. Just peeling across to the inside. I thought all hope was gone for his run. But that was very nicely done from him. Rents and Red making a very interesting battle here for the top position in the leaderboard. Rents walks in and gets P1 due to his history on the channel, I think, and is checking up on where the family members are. As Ren's saying, loving the naming game. Good. And I think you're a little bit late to the stream. It has been. The chicane has been renamed the Dirtbag Dangle. Komakopa and Bijan really get into it, going through the Kostelic Slalom that time. And I think Bijan yielding that place back again That was too close for comfort from these drivers as Komakopa turns in, gets a little nerve. How did Komakopa save that one? Tremendous car control, I have to say, and then I think good sportsmanship from Bijan, who didn't want to take advantage of that contact. So we'll continue to run on. Here comes Bijan, then back down the inside lane. Komakopa made this work last time in the Jag. I think Komakopa is going to need to pit pretty soon. Look at the power. Look at the torque and the traction coming out of the final corner for the Jaguar. And here is Bijan. It says gives you wings on the back. That's the first thing in my mind that Komakopa's done wrong is to put a Red Bull logo on the back of his Bro Cargo Cup. Sarkin P8 pits. We've got Senyofak, Komakopa and Bijan fighting, these two fighting over P2 at the moment. Dummy slotted back and at least at the moment is in P4. He comes through. Nicky Lauda just behind him. And then Uncle Pants and Mappy are fighting over 6th position. Nicky Lauda has put a small gap on Uncle Pants. And Dummy back out of the pits. He's now on the hard tyre and trying to generate some tyre temperature in the Lexus, which he now I think affectionately calls the pig, and getting the tail a little bit slidey through the Kostelich slalom. Bijan in P3 is as close as you would ever want to be going into the dirtbag dangle here. Red says, how is Tequila doing? I'll check out once these guys actually survive the chicane, and survive it they do. I do wonder if Komakopa is heading into the pit lane, and how is he going to indicate that? He's put his blinker on, his right-hand turn signal is on, and Bijan just spotted that at the last moment, I think, before going for the move. So into the pits goes Komakopa, the last of the medium starters, I think, to pit. And just underlining what I said earlier about his tyre and race management, Komakopa pits then after 20 minutes, hoping to try and get at least double the tyre life out of the hard tyres in that Jaguar for Bro Cargo. Mappy runs through. Let's go find out Tequila Monkey. He's back up to 8th position, performing the mother of all undercuts with his early pit stop. He's actually overtaken Solshock. That's astonishing from Tequila Monkey. He actually seemingly found some good clear air on the racetrack and has actually undercut Solshock. I think he may be forced into using the hard tyres longer than he had hoped, or certainly later than he'd hoped, Tequila Monkey. But here he is in P6, so didn't let his head get down, just kept pushing, and here he is in that P6. Bannon says go Tequila, and look at the Kimmy's pairing here, P6 and P7 in the Ferraris, running a good race at the moment. Tequila's certainly had plenty of issues, but people pretty happy to see Tequila moving forward on the racetrack. So just going to go back and give you some Solshock action, picture in picture, and we'll check out where Senyofak is 20.2 seconds ahead of Bijan. That is on pace. That is a direct comparison between hard tyre stints. He's also, as many of these drivers do, used less of the tyre as well. I think he's on his last lap on the fuel by the look of things. I think Bijan might have considered pitting on the end of lap 13 there as Dummy comes through. But yeah, looks like the driver's only able to get an extra 5 or 6 minutes out of the hard tyre on the full tank of fuel than they did the mediums at the start. Dummy is 26.5 seconds away from Senyofak. Let's have a look at Senyofak's pit estimate, shall we? There should be a line appears on the track map on your top right of your screen, a pink line showing where that pit out is likely to be in comparison. So you're looking for Dummy, car number 33. In comparison to that, it looks like Senyofak is due to come out in front of Dummy. I have my doubts But let's wait and see if that indeed is what is likely to happen. Let's give you some POV action once again. It looks like Tequila Monkey and Uncle Pants. Oh, excuse me. That's basically just because Tequila Monkey is into the pits, drops back down again. Tequila down into 10th place after his pit stop. He's gone onto the hard tyres now. So that was earlier than I thought, but he has now made 2 pit stops. Is there a chance the Ferrari can get 36.5 minutes on a set of hard tyres? I think if anyone's going to try and do it, it has to be Tequila Monkey. Let's look at his fuel estimate and see where it shows Tequila Monkey as running out of fuel after this run. I'm not sure that fuel level has updated, because it says he's going to run out on the end of lap 27. It could be that is the end of the race, lap 27, but that's clearly what he has fueled to, is 27 racing laps. So fantastic information here from the Hector system, tracking the telemetry. Senor Fact pits and does indeed drop down behind Dummy. So Dummy in P1 will go past the pit lane exit. Here comes Senor Fact to pass that, and then Mappy, who still has not pitted. He's the last of the late pitters. He's run the tyres and the fuel very nicely in the Audi. He's got himself from the back up to P3 through this sequence. Of course, he will have to make a pit stop, but that's pretty clever from Mappy, you have to say. Senor Fact's deficit at the moment, 7.4 seconds back to his back to Senor Fact from Dummy. It's Sock here in P8 for your POV. That's going to be in the Lamborghini. Can hardly see his steering wheel in the POV there in his settings, and you can see how he's managing the race. There's green mirrors for the Jamplacht interior team, not the Brocarga team. Did we just lose Larry and Focal? Have we lost Focal? I have to very much apologise if that is true. I think it is. You're right. Yeah, Focal has gone, unfortunately. Larry didn't get to start the race, sadly, Rents, but Focal has had to exit after 2 accidents. He qualified in 4th position and had really high hopes, I think, ahead of the race for Team Mega. So I'm afraid Team Mega's points will only be contributed by Dummy today. So Dummy has twice the pressure on his shoulders. If the fighting for a championship against Senor Fact wasn't enough, it's a 4-point difference between the two of them. And at the moment it's 7.2 second deficit between them as well. So Dummy now has to take that pain as Larry himself joins and says, let's go Mappy, who pits with 1 litre of fuel remaining on the 15th lap. We have 34 minutes to go. He will have to pit after this one once more, I think, but yeah, tremendous run from Mappy. That was absolutely brilliant performance from him so far. We've got Bijan in P4 and behind him Komakopa, who has lost out slightly, in P5 and is now on the hard tyres just like Bijan, and they're a little bit older as well. I think we'll be seeing a 2-stop race from these guys. I don't see them getting the hard tyres home, but maybe Bijan might, by the look of things on the fuel. Let me just check out where Bijan has fueled to. We're just going to switch over to his POV in order to see that. Excuse me. I was changing the wrong thing there for a moment. Here is his pit stop. He is lapped to lap 28. So it does it does look like that is what the drivers are intending. 27 or 28 lap race so far. Look at the elevation change on the POV from the run through the Kostelic slalom. So Renz is going to have to help me out a little bit here, because I'm assuming Renz then has some Croatian heritage, even though his son Red is German. So you have to give me that info. Wish you could be out there, says Larry. Keep killing it, Coach Dave. So yeah, sorry we didn't wait for you, Larry. Of course, we have no idea how long it's going to take you to get back in. Not at all, says Rents. You're just a fan of Croatian skiers. Okay, noted. Thank you. I thought for a moment that you were at a sports affiliate. Excellent. Okay. So an expert in all things sports, which is great. So thank you, Rens. Bijan in P4. So Senor Fact is our lone Croatian and he's representing incredibly well here at home. But the fans in the grandstands will be looking forward to a Senor-Fac dummy battle at the end of the race, and I think we will presumably get that before the end of proceedings. Let's go find some close drivers on track. We've got Sock 7th, Mappy 8th, Uncle Pants 9th, and we've got Tequila Monkey in 10th. We'll go for a double POV, shall we? So you've got Bijan, picture-in-picture, main screen. You've got the Apex cam joining with Bijan. If you want to find your favourite driver, you can access the live race feed from Hector, and you can have your own overlay running, and you can even do it. You can even have all the browsers open for every streamer if you want, and you can actually blow up the driver's POV. I'll just show you how that works. I think it's possible to actually blow that up. You see what I'm doing here? So yeah, we can actually make that much bigger part of the presentation. If that's what you want, you can actually make a multi-screen view on your view as well. So it's fantastic, the things that you can do with the Hector feed, designed by Beragos himself as well. Of course, I'm just going to take that down a little bit after we've demoed, so let's just move that back to the corner, and we've switched over this time to Sock, as you can see. This is Uncle Pants then, and his trip through the dirtbag dangle. I want to know Larry's view here on the naming of the chicane. I hope you approve, Larry, of the dirtbag dangle. So Uncle Pants P9 and Mappy not far away here from P7 Sock. Dummy leads Senor-Fac and Soulshock with half of the race distance complete. So that's where things stand at the moment. Looks like Rents is going to hold on to P1 in the order of the chat leaderboard. Red saying, turns out the internet isn't the best in the forest in Norway. Yeah, yeah. I imagine many people could have told you that, but good to know all the same. So good on you, Red, for tuning in, even though you're out on your vacation, I think. It's 29.5 minutes left on the clock. Personal best time from Mappy on his new set of medium tyres. A little bit lighter on fuel than when he had new tyres at the start of the race, and things were all looking very exciting earlier on. We've got a group of different drivers together here. So we've got 3 drivers together for third place. Soulshock, Bijan, Copa. Senor-Fac is not far away here. You can certainly see Dummy 2 seconds away from the lead of the race as he's on the medium tyres. Dummy's on the hards. Roles reversed from earlier on, but Dummy, of course, built a good gap. And then I'm expecting to see the drivers potentially pit again to finish the race out. I would certainly expect Senor-Fac to pit again. I think Dummy is too light on his fuel to finish this race out. The Porsche is a little bit more thirsty of a car. So let's just have a quick look. I think I did say Dummy was fueled to lap 27 on his current usage. So he could well be one-stopping this. If he's one-stopping this, then it is all over for Senor-Fac, I think, even if he makes the pass. But those medium tyres are going to have quite the job to run a further 28 minutes. But Senor-Fac is catching hand over fist. He put in the fastest lap on lap 17. 2 laps to go, 138.761 for the Porsche Delesi driver. These drivers are taking this chicane. First 2 parts flat out, a little lift into part 3, and then straight back on the power as soon as the car straightens up. It is big courage time here for the drivers, especially when they're chasing down the potential victory overall. 39.0, that previous lap for Senor-Fac. Let's check out this lap as that comes to an end, and he's closing in on Dummy's lead as he crosses the line. 39.3, Dummy 40.9. It's surely going to be candy from a baby. Depends how hard Dummy wants to battle this particular sequence. Remember, he is on the hard tyres. He doesn't necessarily know. He will suspect that Senor-Fac with this pace differential is on the mediums, but he doesn't know that whether Senor-Fac has to pit again. So I suspect Dummy will defend as hard as he dare. at this stage and try and get through the grain into the graining phase of the medium tyre run then for Senor Fak, and Senor Fak is right with him now as Dummy went wide going through the Perisic corner. In we go towards that Kostelic slalom. It will have to be follow my leader through here and try and challenge down into turn 12 at the southeasterly point on the circuit. They come through the slalom down into Kukoc, and then they will run, and Dummy goes full on defensive all the way to the right hand side of the track as Senor Fak takes the lead for a moment at least, and Dummy sweeps through the apex, will get the nose ahead before the dirtbag dangle chicane, and he holds on. But for a briefest of moments, Senor Fak had the lead of the race there. It wasn't enough to qualify for a lap in the lead, but we have got a real battle on our hands, and these two are going to push each other incredibly hard through this run. It looks like Dummy was very hampered going through the chicane, but just about managed to save the car, and now he has quite a hard job on his hands. He's running through his hard tyre stint. They're actually more worn than Senor Fak's. The Lexus does use its tyres more than most of the GT3s, so I think Dummy and Senor Fak will almost certainly both have to pit again then, looking at the wear rate on the tyres. What I think I could do with that fuel estimate, making for the tyres actually at this stage. How many laps do we expect the tyres left, usable laps, to have? Dummy nearing the danger point on those hard tyres with 25 minutes to go. The longer I look at that, the more I'm convinced both of these drivers have to pit again, but they will have now both used the required tyres. I wonder if Senor Fak will put the hard tyres on to be able to go aggressive, and Dummy will be able to use a set of mediums at the end of this race. 25 minutes to go, and already the top two, for the first time really in this race, are now crossed horns, crossed swords. Battle lines are being drawn between the two of them. This is for the championship, of course, with 4 rounds to go, including this one, before we crown our inaugural G1 champion. And Senor Fak got out of shape. Senor Fak went down the inside. Dummy got out of shape going through the corner, and they came together, but thankfully we averted disaster. This is how things looked then as Dummy goes down. Senor Fak just knew he had the brakes here. He almost got into the back of Dummy. He might accuse him of a brake test, but I think that's just a difference in tyre that we can see through the dirtbag dangle. Thankfully, we avoided disaster, and Senor Fak takes the lead of the race. Red is cheering on Senor Fak. Why are you cheering on Senor Fak? I think that's because you don't want Mega to win. but yes, Senor Fak is receiving the support from a Kimi's Racing Team full-time driver, Red here, and Dummy and Team Mega, who I think, because they're Kimi's Racing Team rivals, is losing out. So Dummy initially already losing up to a second on Senor Fak's position, and I think it's time as soon as possible to get off these tyres, get onto a new set of tyres. But unfortunately, I think Dummy may have to choose the hards again, and Senor Fak could well end up on a second set of mediums. It's a matter of race management to the end, but you have to say, on pure pace, it looks like Dummy had the outright speed on the first stint on the mediums, but on this second stint, Senor Fak has obviously gone faster with the fastest lap of the race. Green Guy says Tamil. Okay. The only thing about Tamil I know is the Tamil Tigers, and I don't think that they're a particularly good organisation. Tequila, get on the sofas, says Green Guy. So where is Tequila? Let's have a look at him. He's at the back of the grid at the moment, having made that extra pit stop. I think he's only just been in for another set of tyres here. P11, 1 minute and 34 off the lead of the race. He's about to get lapped by, I think that's Senor Fak coming through out of the final corner as well, sadly. Soft tyres, says Green Guy. Tequila, get on soft tyres. Right, understood. Okay. Tequila, get on the soft tyres. Thank you for retracting your misspelt messages. Unfortunately, it was too late for me. I had actually already read them. Senor Fak then coming through in P1. And he will put a lap on Tequila Monkey, and that will be super disappointing for our reigning S1 champion and lead Kimi's driver in the championship at this stage. How about this though? We've got Solskjaer guest driving here. He usually drives, of course, the S1 car, the SF23, a very different beast, but he's had a little bit of practice, I think, and is able to run his Kimi's racing team livery Ferrari here, and is catching Bijan. So it's Senor Fak leading dummy now on lap 23 with 22, just under 22 minutes left to run in the race. Who's your money on, Senor Fak or dummy when it comes to a close? It looks like Senor Fak has the pace at the moment to hang on to what would be a very popular home victory, I'm sure, not just at the racetrack but across the league here. It's been a little while for Senor Fak since his most recent win, but they are 4 wins apiece, dummy and Senor Fak, in the championship this season. So the first to go to a 5th win will take some bragging rights as we continue to watch Solskjaer and Bijan here. Solskjaer, I think, is streaming, so we can perhaps give you the POV version of this stream as well. And he runs through. I don't know if Solskjaer is fueled to a finish. We'll just have a quick look at that one. He's saying lap 27 as well. So interesting. I think he's betting on a 27 lap race. No, he's not. Surely. It won't be 4 more laps. It'll be way more than that. So there will be a further pit stop to make then for these drivers. Now we're getting closer to the finish. It's a bit easier to tell. And here is the Bro Cargo Jag. The drivers recently were allowed to make the change after a captain's vote. In comes Komakopa from P5 with 20 minutes to go. I think that looks like it's about the right window for a set of medium tyres for him to finish out on a 2-stopper. And Nicky Lauda and Mappy come through in P6 and P7 respectively. We continue to watch Solskjaer chasing Bijan. The gap is 1.6 seconds, picture in picture, as we go through the grid order. Then we've got Sok in P7, as Ozzy says, believe in the Bijan in P3 there. He's a good gap away from the lead. If you're going to need quite a lot of faith if he's going to finish higher than that P3 at the moment. Uncle Pants is on the hard tyres, just going an extra lap longer than his teammate here, I think, who's now out on the medium tyres and going to go to work and see what he can do in terms of the undercut. Phil is in 10th place for Delesi. Tequila Monkey at the back right now, having an absolute nightmare race, you have to say, as the sun starts to set here in Croatia. It's been an interesting day for me. I've done a sunset race at Deep Forest, then I've done sunrise races here in Croatia at the different configuration, and now we're into sunset. It really feels like I've been working all day at the trackside to bring the streams to life today. What a race from Bijan so far. He's charging and goes Senor Fak, says Taylor. Split support there. I think in comes dummy then on the hard tyres. He will come in first. I hope he can use medium tyres to the end of the race and really challenge Senor Fak. But I suspect the tyres will be, the decision will be hard. No, he's gone aggressive. He's gone for the mediums. His deficit then to Senor Fak, 39 seconds. That's a lot to pick up, but he's out on fairly full tank of fuel, but he's on brand new tyres. So this is the important period now when Senor Fak is running, what is he, a 140.1 his last lap, 40.2 the previous one. If he's sensible, I think Senor Fak will pit now as soon as it's safe to. And look at that front left tyre giving up as well. So surely it's time for a pit stop for the Porsche. The Delesi squad, I imagine, getting ready here. We don't want to take that front left tyre an extra lap. For Team Mega's perspective, that is what they would be hoping, is that Senor Fak has a duff lap coming up, but he's going into the pits, so it will minimise the in-lap delta then for the brand new tyre difference for Dummy and Senor Fak. 7 litres of fuel remain on Senor Fak's car. Dummy is going through the dirtbag dangle now, and he put in a 2:11 in lap. This is his out lap, so we will see if how that will compare to Senor Fak, who well, I haven't seen his out his in-lap difference, but this is where the race could be won and lost. It could be decided, this gap right now, running through. Dummy can see Bijan. He'll be hoping Senufak, who's just about to exit the pits now. Here comes his outlap, is a 1:42. It was a 2:11 in-lap. Senufak did a 2:9 on his in-lap, so he was gaining while Dummy was sitting in the pits. That's astonishing from Senufak. 2 seconds faster on their in-laps in comparison, and that lap for Dummy was a 1:42.4. We'll see how that compares, but that's a 6.7 second deficit to Senufak. That's a big ask, the way that the Porsche driver is driving today, and they've come out in the same set of tyres as well. All signs are pointing towards a famous home victory for Senufak. And Bijan is right there at the moment. He's got damage on the front of the car, unfortunately, but he will need to pit again as well. So Dummy with nearly 3/4 of a tank of fuel in the Lexus. It's a quick car, but it does take its fuel and its tyres without prisoners. Down we go into the Modric turn 12. And there you can see the difference in the tyre, the difference in the grip available to the two GT3 racers here. Dummy picking up P2 in his pursuit of Senufak. And Senufak's first outlap at the moment will be showing. That's Bijan getting into the barrier. And you can see how low the sun is actually starting to get here. It's very much golden hour in the sunset portion of our race. Dummy 6.3 seconds his deficit. Senufak managed a 42.7 on his outlap. Dummy a 42.4. So that 2 seconds difference on the in-laps were what has made the real difference count. I think Dummy, though, was struggling to get that hard tyre to that point. The Porsche a lot kinder on its front tyres, of course, because it is a rear-engined, or mid-engined technically, car. So the front-engined weight is going to be so much more difficult to cope with at a front limited circuit like this one. It is Senufak ahead of Dummy. Solshock moves up into third position, having made his pit stop, and he retakes third from Bijan, getting the undercut working nicely. Tequila Monkey's up to 8th. I'm hoping Tequila Monkey is also pitted to a finish as Komakopa comes forward. He's made his final pit stop as well in the Jag, and he's in P5. Nicky Lauda sits in the pits. He's coming out now. I wonder where Mappy is relative. 3.6 seconds further back. Tequila Monkey has pitted, but he has to run the hard tyres to a finish. Red saying, nice job, Solshock, here to get a potential podium for Kimi's racing team. And they should finish with more points than Team Mega and close up that battle in the team standings. But I think that the Delesi squad are going to be the main threat to Kimi's at this point. Delesi came into this only 10 points away from Kimi's. Mega Racing only 1 point ahead of Kimi's. I think we're going to have a three-way close battle for the finish of the Constructors' Championship here in G1. In fact, we can even look at live standings for you here. Let's turn off Solshock's stream for you, as the live championship standings will be delivered for you. I can't believe that Beragos built this for me. I really can't. It's tremendous, as you can now see the live championship standings if the race finishes as it is right now. Golden stuff I have needed for years in commentary, and Beragos built it after just a couple of weeks of being in the request pile. So this is tremendous stuff. This will be so valuable in the final rounds of the championship. I really can't wait to use this permanently. I think it's just going to be up the whole time on the streams. I hope it doesn't get in the way too much, but it's also great because it's transparent as well. And most of the action happens in that inner third of the race. Good recovery from Tequila, says Green Guy. Absolutely, yeah, completely agree. More a Green Giant or a Hulk, perhaps, Green Guy. I can't quite tell in your avatar picture. Philar is at the back for Porsche. Looks like they're going to bookend the race, Delesi, first and last at the moment. And Senufak, well, now, what has happened to Senufak? Can we see? He's hit the front of the car, and Senyafak has damage to the front. I wonder if that's another trip through the dirtbag dangle. Look at this for the end of the race. That's a 42.9 from him the last lap. Dummy, a 39.4. I think Senyafak hit the wall hard on that first flying lap, that 42.7. Potentially, because the last 2 laps from Dummy have been 3 seconds faster. It could be that we're building to an incredible finish here. Senyafak looked like he was going to walk away with this one, but he's damaged the front of the car in a huge way. The front splitter and both front wheels have got damage that will not repair. That will be permanent damage unless he pits. So he is going to have a very understeery, very unpredictable handling car as he goes through here. And as Taylor says, we are going to have to see a defensive battle, a special one here from Senyafak, because we are building to a final 10 minutes of tremendous action. As here is Dummy just 1.1 seconds away. I bet he can't believe his fortune here, and Senyafak's misfortune to obviously hit the barrier on the way through the corners. There's definitely too much time. Dummy will get there, says Dylan, so he's laying his cards out on the table. Looks like Taylor and Green Guy, looks like Taylor is and possibly Vicinity are predicting a strong defense likely from Senyafak. Dummy needs to not get tucked into the same rhythm as Senyafak. Needs to keep his own braking zones, his own reference points, and just try and unlock the speed that he has got. Stay away from any damage, and Senyafak will pit and deny us a battle. Senyafak has decided it is undrivable, and he's better to pit and put soft tyres on and sprint to a finish. Lap 30, 10 minutes to go. Dummy back in the lead of the race. I think Solshock will be not far from Senyafak as well. I can't believe that he threw away the lead of the race, but he clearly felt that car would not make it home. No fuel, I don't expect. Soft tyres with 10 minutes to go as the Porsche will come out clearing away in second place. And then his target is absolutely clear. Let's wait for the mini sectors to update. He's got 9 minutes, 40 seconds to catch 19.9 seconds at the end of this race. Sol also has damage, says Dylan. Sol has had a problem. Let's have another look. Can we catch that in the buffer? I think that will be another chicane issue as Bijan gets on by Solshock. Solshock is going to defend this. He desperately wants the podium. Both Bijan and Solshock have their fans with us today. Bijan completes the move, gets on by Solshock in towards the Ishii and Perisic corners. So Solshock with damage, and it is blink and you miss it action here at Croatia for this round of the championship. And the end of the race, when things were starting to really look quite calm around the track, both the leader and the third place drivers have made contact with something and damaged their cars. Senyafak has decided he has to pit for softs. He cannot compete on fair terms here with Dummy, and Dummy has got a clear target. That is to stay ahead, stay in the lead of this race with 8.5 minutes to go. It's lap 31. Senyafak running, and he will be ferociously fast at this stage, but obviously he'll run out of tyres very quickly on the soft tyre. You saw how quickly they degrade in the qualifying session. This is with half tank of fuel on board as well, but a more rubbered in track surface. Dylan says Fak will secure second and not get the lead from third eaten into. I think Fak is not happy with second place at the moment. 1:41.4. That last lap didn't count from Senyafak. We won't know just how fast he can go at this stage. I would love to see from Hector. I would love to see the ability to do custom gaps between drivers and see how drivers are catching each other over the course of the proceedings. But you can see how the championship has changed. It's suddenly, I'm not sure that has updated. Let's go back and maybe refresh it. Yes, updated. You can see Dummy extends his lead as things stand from Senyafak, with Tequila Monkey stable in third place at the moment if things finish the way they are. But 16.2 seconds is the gap then, dummy, back to Senor Fact, and it's just a question of who can survive the dirtbag dangle in the final few laps, the final 7 minutes of the race. It's golden hour, it's photograph time, and there's Senor Fact just pushing too hard. He's damaged the car for the second time in the last stint of the race. Unbelievable from Senor Fact. What pace he has got, but I can't believe he went wrong through here again. He's obviously pushing to his absolute maximum, but that's horrible. That is absolutely horrible contact with the barrier. We will never know if he could have gained 2 seconds a lap or not. But dummy, I think now, look at the visuals here on Gran Turismo 7 in sunset. That is absolutely gorgeous. Looks like Bijan has put the gap on Solshock. It's now 2.4 seconds. Solshock with the job here. Main target will be to make sure he brings the car home. Komakopa is in 5th place. We have strong competition over 6th place. It's Mappy versus Nicky Lauda. Dylan can't believe it. Neither can Red. And I think Green Guy just enjoying this this beautiful sunset here. Look at this. Gran Turismo is just out of everybody else's league when it comes to photo quality graphics, especially when you consider these are fictional racetracks we're on right now. Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. Mappy P7 following then the order. I will take that championship calculator off for now, and we will be able to track with a driver who is streaming for us. Let's go to Sock because he's got a 2-second gap to Uncle Pants in front of him. But Mappy challenging here and trying to reel in Nicky Lauda. Not much in the way of difference in fuel or tyres between the two of them. Not much in the way of usage of their GT3 cars either. You can see the mile and kilometre count. Well, it's mile count on my counter there between the two. 4,800 and 4,300 miles covered respectively by these two. As Mappy really gets into the back of Nicky Lauda now. This could be a good, strong finish performance from Mappy. Waving the Coach Dave flag by himself here. Seen so many drivers get that 4th part and 3rd part of the chicane wrong and end up into the barrier, and the barriers are spike lined. I think it's so cruel, the amount of damage for the audio sound that you get when it actually hits the barrier. The damage is extreme going through there, and this is Mappy coming through, and he's only half a second behind Nicky Lauda's 6th place. At the front of the field, it's Dummy, Senor Fac, and Bijan, your provisional podium with 4 minutes on the clock. Can we see a change of position before the end? This is Mappy chasing Nicky Lauda. We've got something else happening back here. That is Sock and Phil. So you were watching that picture in picture, so you saw that before I saw it, which is Sock getting within 0.3 of a second here to avoid the Wooden Spoon award for this 10th round in the season. The sun sets behind us here in the into the Suker chicane as we head up towards the Ishii corner and Perisic, a tight right-hander. It's lap 33, as you can see. Down into Modric. Let's see if Mappy can have an attempt here onto Nicky Lauda. Not quite. We'll drop back again to that 10th and 11th place battle and see if they can navigate the Kostelic slalom and see if Sock can regain, because Phil has managed to build that case again, that one again. He said, "What's my favourite car of the race?" Nicky has spun apparently. Nicky spun. Let's have a look for Nicky. What happened? Oh, we just see the tail end of it. It's in Modric corner, turn 12. Unfortunately for Nicky, Nicky has spun and is out of that contention. So down to 7th, gifting the place to Mappy potentially there. What's my favourite car of the race? Oh, that's a tough one. I've driven the Lexus the most. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean in terms of vehicle dynamics and drivability, or do you mean in design? Because I think drivability Ooh, I actually quite like the Jaguar. I'm not a Porsche fan, I'm afraid. Never really been able to get to grips with why people love Porsche so much. Senil Fact driving this one. I do. I mean, the design work on the Buckstein cars is something else. So I would probably say for handling the Jag, for beauty, the Buckstein car here of Bijan in P3. I've always liked this from day one. I'm afraid, not that that everybody hasn't put in tremendous work. The Kimi's Racing Team colours are fantastic, and especially their use of the Webbo sticker and the Pride flags as well throughout the course of this summer season. But still think that the OG best is the Buckstein livery. I'm afraid it's just so clean, that teal just sets off beautifully. Let me know your opinions, what you think of the best one. As Dylan says, Bijan actually made all of the OG Buckstein liveries. Oh, that's great. Okay, wonderful. I do like the work that that Comacopa's doing in the new Jag with the Brokaga team. Excuse me a second. Let me know what you think, because that's only my opinion. Here is Dummy, who will take this all day long in the fight for the championship, but I think we'll be wondering whether he could have overcome Senor Fac. But ultimately, it's not all about pace, it's not all about overtaking, it's about making the fewest mistakes. A little bit like a round of golf. It's not so much how many good shots you make, it's how few bad ones. Here is Dummy. I'm just waiting to see if he will just duck out the throttle as he approaches the line here. He's got 15 seconds to play with, 20 seconds before he crosses the line. I think he could decide to finish up here a lap early and not have to run that tyre an extra lap and go through that dirtbag dangle an extra time. What's he going to do with 7 seconds to go? Oh, he's going to keep going for a victory lap here. Senor Fac will run through, and Senor Fac will take home second position, which is great points for Delesi, for the Porsche, for him at home. The crowd will be behind him, but sadly for Senor Fac, it will not be the win. Ultimately, it's second place. I think Bijan will be absolutely elated with a third place finish for Burkestein in the Nismo Nissan, and he comes through. Solshock, hats off to Solshock, who will run through and guest drive and take home a podium for Kimi's, which is tremendous for him and for the team. A super sub, Solshock. I was actually surprised at the start of the season that he didn't pick the GT3 car to drive, but he's got his opportunity to show what he can do. Comacopa flashes the lights and thanks the team as he crosses the line there in 5th place. He'll be well happy with today's work. I think 2 top 6 finishes, I think, in his 2 races. I think he'll be very pleased. Mappy in 6th is a great and popular one while his teammate was missing. Tequila Monkey, incident after incident in P8, but he crosses the line all the same and picks up points for the team. And we have got a side-by-side battle, drag race to the finish. It's Uncle Pants versus Phil in 9th and 10th places. There goes Sock. Dummy is completing his lap of honour here. It is the final lap, the final run. He's the only driver who has completed the 36th racing lap. What a fantastic run from him. Will he do a little donut to finish now that there's nobody behind him? I wonder. But Dummy takes win number 5 of the championship, and with a 3 race run left to go, takes a very important run to the finish of our race. Congratulations to him, to everybody who featured in today's race. Thank you so much, everyone who took part in the live chat as well. Remember, tips are open with the thanks button. And you can also go to the merch store and pick up a Webbo shirt if you so wish. Make sure you're subscribed to SVR-Racing and Comacopa VR's YouTube channels as well, please. Dummy, Senor Fac, Bijan, your podium. Soulshot, Comacopa, Mappy, Nicky Lauder and Tequila Monkey completing the top 8. We have Uncle Pants, Phil, Sock and Focal closing things out. Thanks so much to everybody. Taylor says, I want a Webbo's Weave shirt. You're not going to get a Webbo's Weave shirt, but you can pick up a Webbo shirt, Taylor. That was a horrific name, and I will not want to do any any corner calling after myself. That is horrific. So thank you everybody for your support and all the great stuff that happens on the channel. We appreciate it from everyone. Thanks from SVR for another weekend of racing. Look out for more races to come on my channel this week for the replays that I'm outstanding on S2 and G2. But from me here on the channel, from everyone at SVR, thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.